Hey, welcome to the Finchloom Show, Season 3. I'm Jim Richardson, founder and CEO of Finchloom, and yes, it's actually Season 3. The first season was for private, internal use only. Only employees got to see it. Season 2 was an 8-week run that we did earlier this year on YouTube that I hosted with Emily and Bilal, and you can binge watch those now on YouTube. But that brings us here to Season 3. Which is going to be just me standing at a desk telling you stuff about technology, Microsoft, security, and what I think about it all. Kind of like those late night talk show hosts. I'll have the little screen up in the corner, and it'll have a picture like on the news, and I'll be doing all the technical stuff by myself. After all, it is still COVID, and we're still doing work from home. This season will likely be around 8 episodes as well, so hurry up and go subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get notified when we post new videos. Now, today's topic for episode 1 is work from home. I saw a post the other day that said it's no longer called work from home. It should be called work from anywhere, and I couldn't agree more. Just last week, I took my trailer out to the lake for camping in seclusion. I connected to the campground Wi-Fi and joined a work meeting using a virtual background on my laptop. People had no idea I was in my trailer until I removed the virtual background and said, "See, I can work from anywhere," and showed them the real background was a mountain range behind me. I like the phrase work from anywhere now, and I really use it a lot. So that gave me the idea to change another coined phrase. Do you remember the phrase bring your own device, or BYOD? I suppose that was coined from another famous phrase, bring your own beer, or BYOB. Well, bring your own device was a movement in the early days of IT to allow employees to bring their own mobile devices to work so they could get email on them. And they wouldn't have to carry around 2 cell phones, one personal, one given to them by work. But now you can put modern mobile apps on your mobile devices, and you can keep your data, your company data, secure and separate from personal information, including phone calls, office documents, email, and meetings. So you don't need to provide a separate device anymore to your employees. It can all be done on any device securely. So I thought we could change the name of that coined phrase from bring your own device to bring any device. And immediately I thought of the Michael Jackson album Bad. But I still believe in the phrase bring any device, even if the acronym is, well, bad. Here, let me explain. When businesses started using computers, they were known as green screen terminals. All they could do was display characters on a green-colored screen, which connected back to a mainframe, using coaxial cables for the network. You also attached a clicky keyboard to the screen, and you could interact by typing stuff. There was no storage on those devices, no mouse, no camera, so you couldn't save anything to it. You couldn't download anything. My mom actually used one of these at the old Sears catalog division. People would walk into the store and place orders from the large catalog. My mom would enter them into the green screen. Then Windows came along, and a PC on every desk became a reality. I remember the IBM PS2 was the first PC to be introduced back when I was working at the mailroom for a large insurance company. And by the way, delivering the mail to a company was a great way to learn the business from the ground up and meet all kinds of people in different job roles. But back to the PC. Now that we were deploying PCs to users, we had to connect them to the network, which would allow them to access the Novell file server. And the Novell file server held all the really good stuff, the Lotus 123 and the WordPerfect files. It really meant we had to buy a PC, ship it to the IT department, erase and wipe the hard drive, reinstall the Windows OS, put all the applications on it, customize the environment, make sure it's backed up and protected, and then give it to the employee. It would take days to get your new computer. But then systems management comes along in the form of Microsoft SMS, Systems Management Server. It allowed you to capture the image of a PC, so you could clone the PCs and make them all the same. This saved you at least 4 hours per PC. Also, once you gave the PC to the employee, you could slap an agent on that machine and let SMS manage it by controlling policy, which is what the PC could or couldn't do, and delivering applications. So much power from one small console. In fact, so much power, I remember once in the early days, I accidentally started to wipe all the PCs in the company. Luckily, we managed to stop it at 10% in and save the rest of the company from shutting down. But I learned a very valuable lesson early on: test, test, test. Now, this is the way companies have operated for years. You have to buy a standard brand of PC or laptop. They all have to be the same. You have to apply a standard image and clone the machines so they all look the same and have the same stuff. If someone takes a PC out of the network, well, that's been a big challenge, right? It's hard to keep those laptops on the network when they're always off the network. Sure, they use VPN, but only after they've logged in, so they don't get the policies and the patches. It's a total nightmare to manage computers these days, and we've just lived with it. Why? Because we needed to control the endpoint and give users access to our own private network. But you've now moved your email and your files off the private network, and it's been moved to the cloud. You're starting to host online meetings and collaborate in the cloud. You're thinking about what to do with all those servers and storage devices that are aging out and where to put those apps and workloads. The LAN is dead. You don't need it anymore. In fact, we're not even going to the office to work anymore. If you move your apps and data to the cloud and build a modern workplace, you don't need to control the endpoint anymore. You control your apps and data. You control the identities and the access to the apps and data. You control the place where the employees go, not what they're using to get there. The point is that it's a whole new ballgame now, and you have a choice as a business. Do you want to buy, own, manage, and secure devices for your employees? You can. It's a combination of Windows Autopilot, Microsoft Endpoint Manager. Oh, did I tell you the name changed again? SMS became SCCM, System Center Configuration Manager, which is now Microsoft Endpoint Manager when you combine it with Intune. And you can use Azure AD as well. You can buy the computers for your employees and have them shipped directly to the employee. And when they open the box and put it on the network, the Windows OS is provisioned for them over the air. And your settings and your apps and your security are applied to that machine based on their login. They can use company apps and data on the device because you own it and you manage it and you secure it. It's the way we've been doing it for so long, but now with the best tools to deploy and manage and secure. I've done plenty of demos with Autopilot and Intune, and you can go look those up on YouTube. Or you can give employees a choice of what make and model of computer they want. You just buy it and ship it to them. Or let them go buy it, and then they can expense the purchase. It doesn't matter what device they use, as long as it gets on the internet. PC, Mac OS, Android, iPad, iPhone, all using a secure remote desktop in the cloud, which has all the company apps and data in its secured confines. This is known as VDI, or Virtual Desktop Infrastructure, when you want to host it and manage it yourself. Or when you let Finchloom host it in Azure and manage it for you, it's called our new product, Finchloom's Windows Virtual Desktop as a Service. Let me show you quickly how this works in a full screen demo.
First, I'm using a browser, and I go to my company's website, finchloom.com. And up at the top here, I've got a link to connect me to Virtual Desktop. Now, once I'm logged into this page, this will show me all the resources that I have access to, whether I have a desktop or whether I have applications. So in this case, I've only published a desktop. I haven't published any remote applications. Now, through the browser using the remote desktop client, I'm going to allow redirection of my local clipboard and my local printer. This is important because I want to be able to print documents from my virtual desktop to my locally connected printer at home. So I allow that. Now it's establishing an inbound connection to Azure. So I do not need to make any firewall changes to my company, and I don't need to allow any incoming ports at home on my device. So now here it's connecting to my virtual desktop. It's loading my profile. So no matter which host I connect to on the back end, my familiar desktop icons, my settings are all going to follow me. So I have a consistent experience no matter where I go. Now, while this loads, here it's actually loaded, I want to show you some things about resizing the screen. Remember that we're here in a browser. So if you need to move this over here to the side and do a screen share with two side-by-side screens, you can do that and it resizes the window appropriately. Or we can go into what's known as full screen mode and click that, and then it appears that we've got this full Windows 10 desktop right here in my browser. Now, this is asking for my OneDrive account, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in real quick there.
Hey, Jim, we have a question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead while we're waiting for this to sign in.
Sure. The question is, can we access our business system that is on a server in our office server room?
Yes, and that's exactly why we made this solution, is because we want this to be able to access your on-prem apps and data. So if you have a server, let's say you're running a business app like QuickBooks, and that server is located in your office, we can connect this virtual desktop to your office network using what's called an Azure site-to-site VPN. So that connects your office to Azure in a secure way. So anytime we connect to a virtual desktop in Azure, that desktop has that secure connection back to your work network, and that desktop can access on-prem applications and data. So here now I've made my desktop full screen, and I've got my Teams application that loaded by default. So I can go ahead and look at Teams, and I can respond to people here and read my chats. But one of the best things that we can do is use Outlook. So our virtual desktop comes with Office Pro Plus pre-installed. So if you have the subscription with Office 365 and you're eligible to use Office in this virtual desktop, it's a very convenient way to access the full Office apps. So I've got here my Outlook client. I'm going to read my email and respond to email right here in my virtual desktop.
So that's the thing you should be thinking about over the next 3 to 5 years as a business. Do you want to continue to buy and control and manage devices? Or would you rather not control and manage or buy devices? Or maybe a little bit of both? We do have the technology based on Microsoft 365 to help you buy and manage your own fleet of PCs and Macs. Check out Finchloom.com for more details, or drop us a note if you want to see a demo and talk about it for your organization. And thanks for tuning in to the Finchloom Show Season 3, Episode 1. I will be back soon with Episode 2. Cheers and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye for now.